What's going on, guys, and welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where every single week I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the content I watch on the WWE and E Network, I guess in this case. Today we're talking Total Divas Season 7, Episode 5, The Bella Rush, that aired this past week on the E Network. So as always, we'll be breaking down my review in parts here with the certain themes of the episode. We'll kick off with the miscellaneous stuff. So we open the episode, for whatever reason, with Naomi and Jimmy Uso playing laser tag. They weren't even in the rest of the episode, so why we got that clip, I'm not sure, but it was fun as hell, so we got that. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss are also in this episode for not too long, but we do get some focus on them as they're riding together on the road, and Bliss admits to loving animals. So they go to a pig farm, and she automatically connects with this pig that just so happens to be deaf. So with it looking oh so cute and the fact that it's deaf, she buys it instantly, and she calls it Larry Steve. Now, I'm not sure if this is the same pig that she's had for a while now. I feel like she's had this pig for, like, years, because I've been seeing pictures and videos of it on her Twitter and Instagram for months. But then again, I know this was filmed, like, earlier on this year, like in the summer. I could have sworn that she had this, like, back in April or March, or maybe I don't know, maybe I'm getting my dates mixed up or something. But anyway, she buys the pig. So while they're in the car together, Nia and Alexa, Nia Jax goes through a drive-thru and buys a fucking bacon burger. So she almost tries to give it to the pig. What an animal. No pun intended. What a bitch move. That's a real dick move there. So Alexa says, no fucking way. Take the bacon out, and not in front of my pig. Not in front of my little baby. And Alexa said that her entire family knows of her obsession with pigs. So they stop eating poultry altogether, which is pretty funny. So she takes out the bacon, Nia Jax that is, and eats it anyway. They bring the pig to the Names Day party, which I'll talk more about in a few minutes with for Rusev. So the Names Day party, it's an annual holiday in Russia, and Lana holds one for Rusev. So Nia and Alexa were invited to the party. They go to the party, and they bring the pig with them. And Rusev fucking loves it. Rusev loves Larry Steve. He gets such a big kick out of this fucking pig walking around, and it's my favorite part of the entire episode. Rusev is just losing it at the sight of this pig in his house. It's just the greatest thing I've ever seen. Anyway, so we move from that to the Bella Twins story on this episode. They have their first photo shoot, for Birdie B, their new clothing line, underwear line, whatever it's called. They're very proud of it. Yet, Brie and Nikki discuss what they miss about WWE and being in the ring and being in front of a crowd. Brie says it's hard to be away, and they need to fill that void somehow. So they think of certain ways they can fill that void without actually getting back in the ring just yet. So they go skateboarding. Brie almost gets hurt, and she says, fuck this, I'm done. So then they attend the opening day for horse racing, which it might be that big day that everyone gets, all up in arms about, and around May or April or June. I forgot what it's called, but the opening day for horse racing where people bet on the horses and they get all dressed up, and the Bella Twins are no different. They go to this thing, and for whatever reason, despite the fact that they're not the focal point of this event at all, they miss being in front of a crowd. So maybe it's just the energy from the crowd that reminds them of WWE, that makes them long for the ring. I'm not exactly sure, but that was their trigger for thinking, okay, we got to get back in the ring because we missed this stuff too much. So the Bellas want to make a comeback. Brie is nervous about getting back in the ring with Brian, who helps train with her, and Nia Jax and Nikki. She says that after going through that training regimen with Daniel Bryan, she says, I feel like I have not worked out in 20 years, despite the fact I just had a baby only 2 months ago. And she looks great, but she, obviously not being in the ring for a while is going to take a toll on her body. So Brian tells Brie that she's got to work her ass off every single day to get back in shape, and she's determined to do it because she misses the ring so much. So we'll probably see a Brie Bella return at some point if this clip was any indication. So we got two stories in one here. I included them in one paragraph because they intertwine with each other quite a bit. So Natalya visits her parents. I think the same home. I think that she bought them in season 6. I forgot when it was. It might have been in season 6. Natalya bought her parents a home, and she sees that they can't take care of the home. The toilet's clogged, all these other issues with the house. So then she talks to Rusev about something completely unrelated, but she talks to Rusev about how rude Lana was to her. Rusev initially laughs, which again is why I fucking love Rusev. And he's like, oh, she probably didn't mean it, blah, blah, blah. That's what he says. So Natalya tells Rusev that she can't attend the Names Day party, and Rusev's like, what the fuck are you talking about? So the surprise is ruined. It was supposed to be a surprise party for Rusev. So like I said earlier, Names Day is apparently a holiday in Russia that is held for, people to celebrate their name. It's basically a birthday. Why don't we have that in the United States? Why don't we have that here? I feel like I need a second birthday, and that's exactly what this would be. Anyway, so Rusev asks Lana in front of everybody at the party when she would want to have babies. In front of the whole party. Or no, I think before that he asks her about it, and she says, I don't really want to have kids right now. So they hold the party, and it gets awkward again when Lana brings up the baby thing in front of everybody. And so this thing is attended by a few of their friends. Sheamus is there. Like I said, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, maybe a few others. I know those people are there, though, from the WWE world. So she brings it up again. Things get very awkward. They go out boating or something like that. They get all on this giant boat, and they go jumping off the boat and swimming and all this other stuff. And Rusev, again, just goes crazy over this pig. Lana feels that Rusev loves Larry Steve more than he loves her. More than he loves Lana herself. So she gets all jealous about this fucking pig. And he brings up the babies again. Like, I don't want a fucking pig. You're not a pig. I'm not a pig. We're not getting a pig. I want a baby. And latest, Lana says, I'm not ready for that right now. Do I look like I'm ready to have a baby? So anyway, they talk it over a little while later when they're in private and the party's over. She says she just felt the need to vent, which is why she did that in front of everybody. And she just doesn't want to be a bad mother and not be there. I mean, Rusev's working, Lana's working, barely, but she's working. And she just doesn't want to be a bad mother and wants to connect with that child. She wants to be there for that kid. So Rusev says, yeah, I'll decide to wait. That's fine. If that's most important to you right now, we will wait to have kids. And then he put up this great tweet afterwards saying that, we will wait to have kids. But it won't stop me from trying right now, or practicing, he said, which got a great chuckle out of me. Rusev is a fucking national treasure. So anyway, on Natalya's front with her story, so her dad adopts a dog, and she gets pissed thinking that they want to adopt it, which they do, because I guess Natalya's dad has a job where he has to watch the dog, and he wanted to adopt it. Natalya says, we can't have a dog in this house. It's a brand new house. I do not approve of this at all. So then Natalya's parents draw up a contract. And she's like, why do you have a contract? Isn't it technically Natalya is like the realtor. She is their landlord because she bought the house for them. And her own parents drew up a contract saying you can't come into this time, that time, when it's inappropriate. And Jim Neidhart says, Natalya's dad, you never know what might be going on. Kind of hinting at they might be doing some naughty stuff when Natalya's in there, which made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. So anyway, Natalya reads it over. She says she doesn't mind it and ends up signing it. She thinks it's a good idea. And that's it. That's pretty much it with Natalya. Not the most newsworthy story on her front. But yeah, overall, a fine episode, if only for Rusev Day. The Bella stuff is the same thing we see all the time. Larry Steve is worth watching this episode for, and fucking Rusev. Rusev seeing Larry Steve, the pig, for the first time is an amazing visual. It is such a great clip, and I love it so much. So check out the episode, Season 7, Episode 5 of Total Divas entitled The Bella Rush, if only for Rusev Day, literal Rusev Day, and Larry Steve the Pig. So Total Divas airs every Wednesday night on the E! Network. They're not paying me to say this. I'm just saying this as a cheap plug. And I'll be talking about the next episode next week here on WWE Network and Chill, along with whatever airs on the WWE Network after Raw. I reviewed that on Sundays, and Total Divas on Mondays. So if you haven't already, like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Have an awesome rest of your week, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.